In the bottom left corner of 2,000 atmospheres, give it up for Alpha X's Astrea. In the top right, as the Red Terran from Shopify, Rebellion Esports. It's one of the 4 horsemen of the Terran apocalypse, Byun. Counted amongst the esteemed leagues, TY, Maru, and Innovation. Byun beat Astrea 4-0 the last time they met in an Alpha X show match. Astrea is looking for some revenge. The prize pool this evening is $150. Stay tuned after this first event for a bonus event. Byun will be doing a holdout challenge against Pablo's community. One of North America's best, going up against a top-tier Korean. Astrea trained in Korea for quite some time and popped out the other side. A very excellent, highly skilled player at the game of StarCraft. If I recall right, Astrea's being, like, Astrea's story is the one of the region lock. They are one and the same. So Astrea finished, I want to say he finished 2nd place Grandmaster at the end of Wings of Liberty, something like that. And to have to then go and train in Korea after that in order to reach the skill level he is at now, 10 years later, speaks to the disparity that there once was in the game of StarCraft between Koreans and the entire rest of the planet Earth. But Astrea is here now. Astrea has a very real shot of winning the show match. Astrea has beaten Byun multiple times. Is he going to do so again tonight? Astrea moving into Twilight Council, getting out his first stalkers. Most likely going for your standard blink play here. Byun with 3 racks on the field off of 2 base, already researching stim, is going to be launching an assault against Astrea's 3rd base. When it eventually is plopped down, it will be a blink play from Astrea. Byun sending 2 Marauders and a Marine in for some early harass damage. Is he going to be able to get any? The Marine falls right off the rip. Marauders migrating against the Stalkers. It looks like they will not be able to get the Adept. The Probe's doing a great job zoning out the last Marauder, and Astrea takes really minimal damage from this minor attack from Byun. 1 Stalker lost to 2 Marauders and a Marine. This is going to weaken Byun's push later in this game. Was it worth it for a Red Terran? It's really come into vogue in the TVP matchup, starting in 2022, to just run small groups of units like that across the map to try and damage the Protoss, but usually it's like 5 Marines. 2 Marauders is an expensive call for Byun to make. It means you're not following up with a Widowmine drop. It means you're, well, 2 Marauders down for your 2-base push later on in the game. You're delaying your tech. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background that's not too flashy that Byun is kind of missing out on to make that attack for not very much damage. So Astrea, a couple moments ago, killed off Byun's scout at the watchtower. And is about to unleash Fury on Byun's 2nd base. Or is he? Byun pushes out to nab the Stalkers. They blink to the low ground. Will escape. But Is Astrea going to have enough to hold this push? RoboBay is in development for our Protoss player. Astrea continuing to probe up. Immortal about to complete, +1 starting. Combat shields finishing for Byun, and that's going to embolden him to make this attack. Byun quietly maneuvering around the side of the map. Loads up a medevac with reinforcements. Just more Marines, just more Marauders. First scouts of Astrea see the push incoming. So Byun is actually going to run in a zigzag. Is he, though? I thought he was going to go in through the vision blockers for a moment, but no, he is going to stay the course ultimately. Push up the ramp. Another scouting probe moves out for Astrea, and here goes the battle. Force shields are going to cut off some of Byun's units. Notice all the guys walking around in the back, not dealing damage. Astrea holding strong for now. Byun needs to make something happen. 2 attacks not going well would be disastrous for a Red Terran. He's trying to pin Astrea down, but Astrea is losing next to nothing and continuing to build his strength. Back at home for our Terran, we got armories going up as well as additional production armor finishing for Byun's infantry. Byun setting up the multi-prongs that he's so famous for. Warp Prism finishing up for Astrea. +2. Whirring into action on the Forge. Void Ray halfway done for our blue Protoss, but is Void Rays really what he needs right now? I think these disruptors are going to be far more impactful. Astrea going up to 3 Stargates for the big air toss switch. Is that going to give Byun the window he needs to finally kill off some of Astrea's economy, finally kill off some of Astrea's production? +1 air weapons halfway done for Astrea as well. Byun dropping a 4th command center. Byun kind of has map control. Astrea's investing a lot of money into triple carrier. Finally dropping a 4th base. Byun poking in on the right side as the left pulls back. Most units survive. Hot picking up into the medevacs. Astrea is about to get +1 air weapons, but take a look at the unit count. There's barely any air units to be affected by that upgrade, and that's what has me worried for our Protoss. Byun's army supply is something to be reckoned with right now. He's going to be hitting Astrea in multiple locations. You can see him massing up in the middle of the map right now. But as much as I keep saying that, I've been saying that for like 3 minutes now, and Byun's playing uncharacteristically passive. Byun sitting back for a really long time is actually allowing Astrea to get these carriers out en masse. Decent disruptor shots. Byun finally making his big move. Picks off one of the Ruptors in the back. Zealot run by from Astrea is going to hit Byun's mineral line while this engagement continues. Another disruptor is picked. The interceptors absorbing a lot of damage, but kind of a misplay there from Astrea when you think about the force fields already zoning things out. Those interceptors kind of died for free. Byun cleans up the run by, takes decent losses to it, as well as 9 SCVs in economy that are going to have to annoyingly be replaced. Trades are relatively even. The Protoss losing a little bit more than the Terran, so this is going slightly in Byun's favor. When you take a look at the raw numbers, Byun grabbing the 12 o'clock as his 4th base as this next engagement shapes up. That was a heck of a disruptor connection for Astrea. +3 weapons finishing for a blue Protoss, as well as a slew of other upgrades in development that are going to be hitting over the next couple minutes. Our Terran biding his time for 3-3. Man, I think Byun waited way too long to get super aggressive against Astrea. I'm really concerned for our Terran. Astrea's building a bank behind this. The next 3 carriers are popping. This is going to make Astrea's army extremely strong. Okay, Byun with a really good move picks off one of the carriers. That's exactly what he needs to be doing. Zealots breaking through the supply depot wall. Byun's units not moved into quite the range they need to be to fire, but here comes a doom drop from Byun into the main of Astrea. Couple Zealots picked off before they're even warped into the field, but here are those dreaded interceptors, and this is exactly what I was talking about. This is why you don't want the Protoss to get up to that 6 carrier count, and 3 more on the production tab for Astrea. A lot of Marauders in this pack to the right, but do you know what Marauders don't do? Shoot up. And if Astrea's air army catches that out on the map, it's going to die pretty quickly. It's not going to be very effective defending at home either. Byun going for a drop in the main. So what Byun is trying to do here is abuse the slowness of Astrea's army. Astrea's army really not good at reacting to all these drops everywhere. Oh! Byun splitting beautifully against the disruptor shots of Astrea. Look how quickly the Terran's forces just melt beneath the carrier armada. As Astrea starts up 3 more carriers. Byun is on a timer here, I feel. How many Vikings are on the field? Only 8. There's almost as many carriers as Vikings. 24 Marines and 4 Ghosts. Astrea takes a 5th base, as does Byun. Byun building extra CCs in the background. How many command centers is he up to? 6 and a planetary. A ton of Vikings are obliterated from the sky. Byun. Looks like he's trading well here, right? Well, not exactly. He's killing interceptors for real units, and you can see that reflected in the banks at the bottom of the screen. Astrea's gas is astronomical. He's trading small amounts of minerals for the army of Byun. Byun needs to get multi-prongs going. He needs to get precision strikes going against Astrea's economy, shut down that gas production, shut down the actual production, and take out the tech of Astrea. But is he ever going to be able to? Astrea recalling part of his army in order to defend this push, walking the rest home. Byun is allowed enough time to clean up a few probes as well as the static defense, but only 6 probes for all these Marines, all these Marauders. This is not part of the ESL Pro Tour, by the way. That's a small production error on my part. Will be fixed for the next map. Sorry about that, guys. Templar Archives starting up for Astrea. Air armor completing for a blue toss. I gotta say, Astrea's looking real hot in this first game. Max Angel getting his Angel fleet to the skies. 3 more carriers in production for the Protoss. That's the tagline for this game. That's the clickbait YouTube title. You have like a bunch of guys in the stand. 3 more carriers. 3 more carriers. The triple Stargate of Astrea bleeding Byun dry. And that's going to become more and more apparent as the minutes wear on. Astrea passing up 2,000 gas bank. This Liberator actually doing a ton of work for Byun here. That's a really cute play. Our 2 players just poking at each other, seeing what kind of positional advantage they can gain. Astrea withdrawing from battle to gain position. Byun trying to assert map control as he continues to expand up alongside the top of the map. Defensive High Templar nestled amongst the static defense. Astrea doesn't want another Liberator running in. He doesn't want more medevacs coming and dropping that location. Orbital deleted so quickly by Astrea along with a dozen SCVs. That Liberator dealt much more swiftly than the previous one. Byun moving out his main orbital. No reason to keep it there. He's going to get some fresh mining going on at the 3 o'clock position. Takes the Zelnaga, and this base is very ripe for the sniping. I think Byun's cautious. He's like, is this a trap? No. Astrea's army is just out of position to defend it, and I think that's a willful decision on Astrea's part. I think he wants to fight over his static defense. Couple carriers are picked from the blue army. Sitting at a stable 8 count right now. Ooh, beautiful disruptor connections from Astrea is going to really weaken Byun's army for quite a while. That was not just Marines, that was a couple Ghosts, that was a few Marauders going up in a puff of ash. And as I keep harping on over and over, Byun's gas bank, not the healthiest. Astrea trading out interceptors so often for the units of the Terran. Observer sees all. Nice scan from Byun is going to pick it off. Vikings fall one by one. Ghost dies in the back. Astrea advancing up the right side of the map. Radar tower taken out. Ground armor finishing for the Protoss. Not that there's too many ground units for it to affect. It will make these disruptors a little bit tankier. Storm on the Vikings was but feedback on the Ghost is actually very powerful coming out from Astrea. Another carrier blown out of the sky. Astrea trading so much more efficiently than the Terran you expect. The Protoss trade a little more efficiently, but this is a lot more efficiently. Over 100 Marines dead, 3 dozen Vikings, and a ton of Terran economy blown off the map. And you can see just how much of the damage that Byun has caused our interceptors. Finally, the carrier count starts getting decimated, but there's no Vikings left. Oh my god! Epic disruptor connection with the Red Army is going to stop Byun in his tracks, or is it? Is the Mad Lad going to keep pushing through with barely anything left? I guess the answer is yes. He finds a soft target at Astrea's fresh Nexus, but he does not have enough to push into the Sim City and get caught up by the static defense. Meanwhile, Astrea striking the Charge Lot Archon play. That was an excellent storm. That's a money storm. Like, you can't hope that a storm will go much better than that. Byun's slapping a band-aid on his storm wound as Astrea's main force pushes up the right side. These charge lots are going to kill off a whole orbital. Byun really starting to melt now. Astrea with a massive bank behind this attack. Byun, not so much. 7 Marines and a few more Vikings are all he can muster at the moment, and he's about to lose a lot more economy. Another orbital is going to fall to the charge lots. GG is called, and Astrea takes an intense first map from Byun. Astrea making a big statement in our first map. Byun 4-0'd him the last time they met in an Alpha X show match. Astrea's like, not today. At the very least, Astrea's done better than he did the last time. And that's one of the best things you can say as a StarCraft player, as a competitor in any sport, is I did better than the last time I played. But can Astrea seal 3 more victories and take the prize from Byun? That's what remains to be seen. That's what you guys are here to find out. Byun, with a relaxed second CC on the low ground, is not going to be giving Astrea any super early game pressure this time around. The 2 Marauder Marine push didn't really pan out in map number 1. Byun also foregoing the 3 racks. Going barracks into factory to open things up. Twilight Council in development for Astrea. It looks like it's actually going to be a Hellion play from Byun. This is interesting. He doesn't want to rely on Widow Mines. He could be going for a Hellion drop, or he could just be going on the ground. Or this could be some kind of combined arms push. He is revealing the Hellion, playing very aggro against Astrea's initial Adept. Blink starting production for Astrea a second time around. Hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Third bases of Astrea might not be in the cards for a bit. Byun sends out the first medevac. How much damage is this going to do to Astrea? This isn't the most committed attack Byun could have done. Byun getting a bead on the stalkers of Astrea. The Adept out of position. One of these stalkers stuck on the low ground. There's no blink here yet. Byun could gun it down very early on in this fight. He's not going to take the bait. Is he going to go up the ramp, though? No, he decides not to fight. We're seeing a very cautious Byun tonight. I don't know what's in the water, but Byun just really doesn't want to fight Astrea so much of the time. Byun is very well known for playing aggressively against his opponents, for backing them into a corner, for keeping them pinned down and keeping them playing on the defensive as Byun sets the pace. But that's not what we're seeing from Byun in this map or the last. Blink is here. The Prism moves forward to spot high ground for the Stalkers. Astrea blinks up, and he's going to be the one setting the pace for this game. Byun bleeding off Marines every time the Stalkers fire, but he does have enough to hold. Slight delay on some of Byun's production. No epic stop of the stim research, anything like that thus far from Astrea. The auto turret drop, killing off 4 probes. Can it get any more? He does get a 5th. Snuck that one in there. I don't know if that's in range of the Xel'Naga, Astrea's ship down at the 6 o'clock. Okay, he's gonna drop on the Xel'Naga. It'll be in range now, for sure. More Stalkers coming out from Astrea. Wouldn't mind repositioning on the ramp for Byun. Storm being researched by our Protoss behind this, as well as Charge. Big drop in the main of Astrea is going to force away the probe line. A lot of mining time lost to our Protoss player. Oh, big Artosis pylon going down, delaying charge and shutting down some production of the Protoss. Big tank siege against the third of Astrea. Stalker's taking a big beating, but Astrea lands the storms he needs to. Or does he? He decides he's lost too much as 26 probes have fallen. Byun evens the score 1-1. So Byun should be opening with 2 racks here. So he's going to build one hidden in the back of his base. He's going to build the second in the wall. Or is he going to go right into factory? This looks like a Reaper opener to me. But with 2 gas, it could just as well be a factory play from Byun. Probe scouts coming in fast. And it looks like it will be able to see what Byun's up to. It's going to see absolutely everything. How is Astrea going to react? Well, we're going to find out soon enough. The Cyber Core about to finish. Astrea did go for a Nexus on the low grounds. Byun getting his digs in against Astrea, killing off the scout, but probably is not going to hit our blue Protos's base before the Stalker finishes. As a matter of fact, he's not going to hit Astrea's base before the Stalker finishes, so there should be no further probe kills against the Protoss. Couple Widow Mines in production for our red Terran. Astrea deflects the Reaper with ease. And it will be a Widow Mine drop this time around from Byun. So, I think continuing forward in this series for games 4, 5, and if we hit 6 and 7, that's when the cheese is going to start coming out. That's when our wonky builds are going to hit right in the middle of our best of 7. And I'm really excited. I want to see some Byun proxy play. I want to see Astrea proxy Stargate. I want to see some Astrea DTs, dang it. Astrea, scouting in the drop with the hallucinated Phoenix, is going to keep vision of this medevac as long as he can. Byun may not even move the medevac in until the Phoenix expires. No, he is going to try and finesse the Stalkers. Ooh, 1 Stalker lost, the rest rather wounded, and 1 Widowmine still makes it to the mineral line. Second one reburrows to join it. 1 probe dead. 4 in total, as well as the dead Stalker, as well as the injured Sentry. Byun microing hard to make that damage happen. So much action over those brief couple of seconds. Robo Bay in development for Astrea. Again, thank you everybody for the follows to the Alpha Axe Trovo. I know they really appreciate you guys. Oh my god, 6 more probes died. Oh, I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I thought Astrea was going to split the probe. He didn't split the probe, guys. He didn't split the aggroed probe off from the pack. Astrea taking such a beating. None of these attacks from Byun had any right to do as much damage as they did. 12 probes of Astrea going down. But I guess when you take a look how many Widow Mines Byun lost to make this happen, and the fact he lost both medevacs, it kind of starts to make a little sense. This isn't too outlandish for 8 Widow Mines to kill 12 probes. They each basically killed 1.5 probes. But some of the hits were really cool to watch. Raven circling around the side. 2 probes killed off by the Reaper finally. Auto turret getting a couple kills itself, and a lot of mining time delayed for Astrea. But Byun is just beginning his attack. Marine tank will be the follow-up. Astrea is rushing out of Colossi. He's got 1 on the field. So Byun is going to be looking to snipe this first Colossi before its friend finishes development. Or is he? He's actually going to set up for an attack in the main rather than at the third, which is what you would usually expect. Byun playing 4D chess with his opponent. Astrea was not expecting an attack in the main either. That's a heck of an Artosis pylon. It's in the orange, it's in the red, and it's gone. Extended thermal lance, done. +1, done. Charge, done. They're going to be delayed for quite a while, and this is a huge blow versus Astrea. The shield battery in the natural is gone. Byun's not going to stick around to kill off more probes. He wants to get out with all his units, and that's exactly what he's going to do. What a play from Byun. Now his tanks on the left are kind of isolated. They're going to kill off a pylon. Byun thinks that's worth the scan. Are they going to get 2? No, the scan expires before that can happen. But, man, what a great play from Byun overall. That was tremendous. Delaying all of Astrea's tech, getting quite a few kills in the process, and delaying so much mining. Here comes wave number 3. Big scan in the main from Byun. See if there's any Protoss army in position, and there isn't. Astrea was waiting at the ramp. He's going to come in now, but the tanks are focusing down the left Colossi. Astrea moves out of range. He's just fighting the bio, so Byun just backs up to the safety of his tanks. That's 5 warp gates unpowered. Astrea's production taking a massive hit. Byun pushing farther and farther into Astrea's main base. This pylon needs to finish. It doesn't finish. It goes down, so at least a couple of these warp gates are still going to be underpowered. Another pylon picked off by Byun. The warp gates themselves are dying. That was 3 warp gates blown up. These little bits of damage are adding up for Astrea. Byun with near total map control. Byun with his opponent backed up against the wall, quite literally, is playing the game he's so known for. Is playing the type of game he is so exceptional at. Astrea is trying to flip the script. Astrea going for the triple Tempest play, which has been one of the very few new developments for Protoss throughout 2021. Is the Tempest counter making a comeback? You get out your dedicated hit squad, you start sniping out the Terran, picking off the Ghost, picking off the Medevacs. Is Astrea going to be able to pull it off? It's a very risky move from the Protoss, but that's what he needs. A gamble. Oh god, these Tempests are so caught out. There's the EMP perfectly landing on the air toss. Disruptors are going to save Astrea from taking further damage, though. Is the Prism gonna make a play? I don't know. It's standing there menacingly. This is what I mean about the ghost snipes. Oof. But Byun closes in again. forces Astrea back to the high ground. Astrea needs this engagement to drag out. He needs time. He needs to take as much time as possible and fight a war of attrition against Byun. It's going to be a very, very, very difficult road for our Protoss. Byun is unlikely to let Astrea rest on his laurels. Astrea trying to get up his 4th Nexus as he moves into carriers. +1 air weapons, finishing up +3 ground in development. Byun takes position at the gold of Astrea. Won't lose anything to the disruptor shot, but army number 2 is going to attack the 4th base. I have a feeling Byun's going to poke in here and then start moving his right army down for the real damage against Astrea's 3rd. Oh, the Ghost actually get caught in the back. That was a very expensive loss for Byun. He's trying to bait Astrea out as far as possible, and here comes the real damage-causing push. Byun moving in on the right, but Astrea has left his disruptors to defend, and they do a great job of holding down the fort. Byun is about to run his medevacs into a void ray. The lead medevac should die. Okay. Byun pulls back just in the nick of time. It was a very close call for the lead medevac. Astrea is trying to create a fortress down the midline of the map. Make a turtle shell for himself. He knows he has to keep playing a defensive war against Byun. The Terran just has an incredible amount of economic might. A crushing fist of an army. But Astrea is in that position now that he was in on map 1. He's got the carrier army. He's been building up to for so long at this point. Byun played more aggressively this game. Byun played the game he usually plays, where he sets the pace, keeps attacking his opponent relentlessly, and he keeps them on the back foot. But Astrea survived! Astrea, even though he wasn't looking healthy for a while, lived! He's the boy who lived. He has a lightning scar on his forehead. He's like, I'm Potter. Max Potter. And now he gets extra powers. He gets a carrier fleet. What is this, 9 carriers? So these guys pop out? It is. It's 10 carriers. It's 10 carriers, as a matter of fact. Oh, the tank line is obliterated. It's just Byun and Vikings to contend with the Protoss Death Ball. Ooh. 1 carrier falls. Such a precarious position for Byun. Is he going to be able to hold? All it takes is 1 disruptor connection in the right place to end this game. Well, that was a heck of a move towards ending this game for Astrea. Let's take a look at the resources lost. It's been a very violent map. The Protoss losing much less gas than the Terran. Minerals almost dead even. But just like in map 1, Byun has to worry about trading against interceptors. Got Liberator range in development. But we're Okay, okay, there we go. Quad Liberator production kits off. I was waiting for it. I'm like, when are you gonna start building the Liberators, Byun? You're getting the upgrade. When are you making those libs? When are you putting that order in? You got a supply chain crisis over there, Byun? But no, Byun getting out the Freedom Fighters. Start taking on the Protoss. And, ooh, decent trades for the Terran to start off this engagement. He's not going to overplay his hand. He doesn't chase Astrea. He just takes his win, and he backs away. The Fusion Core could potentially die. Nah, Astrea's just going to let them crash into the supply depots. He's more focused on this huge engagement in the middle of the map. Just the supply depots are lost. Everything else survives for Byun. Astrea looks like he's being held off, right? But again, interceptors, interceptors, interceptors. He's not really losing too much in these fights. Astrea crawling his next eye up the right side of Blackburn. Byun should be taking the top left corner sometime soon. He's got the extra command centers to do so, nestled next to his gold base. Byun does have more territory on this map, and that could lead to him getting the 12 o'clock position as an expansion as the minutes tick by. Astrea should probably pull a couple of these carriers to top off on shields at the shield battery. But he's not given the time. He closes back into battle. The Vikings are going for snipes on some of the injured carriers. Seven probes picked off at the gold base as well. Disruptor connections hitting the static defense. Astrea's officially taken his half of this map. It's all the economy he's gonna get for some time. I do think Byun is going to be able to take the 12 o'clock at this point, whenever he wants to. It's gonna take the top left corner, then the 12 o'clock. Every time the Vikings fire, another carrier falls. Byun runs away as quick as he can. He's letting these missile turrets do a lot of work, and the carriers are pretty out of interceptors at this point. That's going to clear way for the Vikings to do their work. 0 interceptors on the field. All of a sudden, Astrea's army isn't looking so hot. He's losing thousands of gas to the Vikings of Byun. But Astrea had somewhat of a bank. Was that a calculated move by the Protoss? I'm not so sure. Our players are still pretty even at army supply. I don't think it was a calculated move. Tempest falls. The gold base is unmineable for the moment. Byun is going to be able to pick off a rear disruptor. And this gold base has a very real chance of dying. Byun's not going to push the issue. Both players are going to have to struggle to reach max out again. It was a very violent clash. Mid-map. It was like, you know what that battle ended up being? It was like the Battle of Hastings. So in the Battle of Hastings, like, a lot of people died. It was one of the bloodiest battles of the Middle Ages. It dragged on. It was just an epic mess. And at the end, the winner was like, we got Hastings. It wasn't strategically important, but it was very violent. And they did get Hastings, so, which is just like a giant mud field of no importance. Well, those were some beautiful storms from Astrea. But again, our players are just going to bounce off each other. Byun's army is hurting. He's got to play defensively for a while, I think. But he's not. He's not. He's going to press the issue. Oh, he's got to be so careful. He doesn't have that big of an army. If he wants to take this 12 o'clock eventually, he's got to back off to the Ultra statue, lick his wounds, rebuild his army, and then fight Astrea again in about 45 seconds. But is Astrea going to start playing aggressively now that he's had a small amount of breathing space? It looks like the answer is yes. A couple Vikings being picked off one by one. Ground army of Byun is holding strong. There's no disruptors with this force right now. Missile turrets are holding really strong against the interceptors. Byun kiting back and just letting the static defense do all the work. Our Terrans actually kind of even things out a little bit. He's still behind here, but things are more even than they were moments ago. And Byun takes the 6 o'clock as Astrea takes the 12 o'clock. That's that's a lot of mules. That's 13 mules. Astrea will have to wait some time for his economic boon to kick off. And it looks like Byun's going to be able to kill off quite a few probes at the gold base. All those mules just died to carrier. That's unfortunate. The carriers aren't going to stick around long enough to kill off the CC. Byun is going to hammer away at this gold. Is he going to get the kill? He does get the kill on the gold base. Very well played from Byun. He thinks about moving up the ramp to the 12 o'clock, but decides ultimately not to do so. Medevac's going to take care of the 12 o'clock. Zealots force Byun to lift the 6. Do have cancellation from Astrea. Byun trading worse gas-wise, but minerals, again, pretty much dead even. Oh, no! Byun tears through the disruptors! Astrea is left reeling. He just has zealots to defend the gold. Couple more disruptors. Spin towards Byun's army. The 4 remaining carriers. This is not enough, Protoss! Byun should go now. Byun can get the kill as long as he splits against the last 2 disruptors. That was a very good shot from Astrea. But here come the Vikings, and this is... Byun has the surround on the Protoss army. He backs up. So Astrea is moving into a concave. Astrea has grabbed the 6 o'clock. Another carrier falls. Zealots, the Archon's dead. Mortal blown up. Only 2 disruptors left. A couple battered stalkers. Some zealots. and 3 carriers with like no interceptors and non-full HP bars. Byun takes the 12 o'clock. His economy is about to skyrocket. Astrea's still got a while to go on this Nexus. Mining running out everywhere on the map except the top corners and the middle. On both sides of Blackburn. Byun. Astrea. Bringing us another 30-minute epic. Byun's getting ready to hammer the gold once more. This time, some of the mineral patches are mined out, so he could slip through the gaps. But that's always dangerous against disruptors. However, Astrea has revealed his army. Byun splits off some of his army to try and hit the gold, but Astrea left defending forces behind. Big storm on the Vikings. Disruptor shot 1 whiffs. Disruptor shot 2 whiffs. Byun's army very stimmed, but Astrea's backing off through the slow zones, and that means he's going to lose a heck of a lot of units. 71 army supply to 120. Byun is looking incredibly strong right now. Byun pushes into the gold. 7 probes dead. The Nexus blown up. Another Nexus about to be under fire. Hero Zealots. Hero red HP Zealots chasing away the might of Byun's army. He just stimmed too much. He needs to heal from the medevac energy. He didn't want to get one swiped by Zealots. Sacrificial SCVs. Ho! This is Amazon's like ultimate plan for their workers. They just, they work them 80 hours a week, and then when they're done, they tank for the Marines. Let's go. Byun. Where did he send all those SCVs? I don't know where they went. Are they dead already? I think they are. No, they're not, because we would have seen them on the left side. Monka battle SCVs. Archons finally fall on the left. Byun will win this fight and gets in on one of the last mining bases of Astrea, and that's actually going to seal the deal. This little skirmish won the game for Byun. Byun going up 2-1 in this best of 7. Byun is going to be spawning in the top right this time, dropping a proxy outside the main of Astrea. What did I say, guys? Mid-series is when you always see the cheese in a best of 7. Here we are in game number 4. Byun going for what is very likely some proxy Reaper. Well, Astrea sees Byun doesn't really have anything in his main. So this should give Astrea enough information to react properly. Oh my god, the audacity of Byun! The audacity to go for the bunker play. And he's going to get it down? Question mark? No, he's not. That was too bold. That was too brave. But it will distract the Zealot, and that's going to create an opportunity for this Reaper to deal damage. Only one probe killed in the end, but will it be able to do more once its friend arrives? It's gonna depend where the grenades land. Stalker can epically bully 2 Reapers, or the Reapers can make the Stalker look like a trash unit. We just keep it on bounce, deal enough damage. Back up, heal, move in again. Back up, heal, move in again. These guys can win this engage, but with 2 Stalkers out now, I think the age of the Reaper is over. The time of Astrea has come. Astrea puts down a Twilight Council. I'm gonna say something crazy. I'm gonna say something a little mad. Is this the game where we see some Astrea DTs? It should be a blink play. It should be. By all rights, a blink play would be a normal and wholesome thing. But we've seen a couple blink plays from Astrea now. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for that Dark Shrine. No, it's not. It's going to be a blink play. We'll keep our hopes up for game number 5. Observer. Starting for Astrea. Raven for Byun. And we're going to settle into another macro game, I feel. We've got the 3rd Nexus down for our Protoss. Our Terran. Continuing to build up his forces. Stim started for Byun. Byun going for a bio play? You don't say. The ambush is real. These are such awkward Widowmine spots. Right over the vision blockers, but Astrea is going to see them. The Observer, good unit. Byun packs up the Widowmines and will try to save them. He does get the medevac out in time. Astrea continues pushing forward. Byun is not going to take any damage from Astrea. it's going to be another very long game from these two. I don't think Astrea is going to die to Byun's 2-base push. I don't think that's going to happen at all. There's just not enough units on the field for Byun. He tried the Proxy Reaper. It didn't pan out. It's going to weaken this push somewhat. Astrea knows exactly what Byun's up to. He has plenty of time to prepare. First Colossi is about to hit the field, and that means it's time for Byun to move out as his upgrades begin completion. A ton more production for a Protoss. Hallucinated Phoenix might even scout the push. Yep, Byun is on a beeline to get scouted. Okay. Astrea swings just wide of the Terran army. Byun builds his third CC on location, and the push should begin momentarily. +1 is just close enough. It may hit mid-fight. Is Byun even going to take the engagement? He can't see Astrea's army. Huh. Byun doesn't even start his 2-base push. He's like, nah. I'm good, bro. I don't see the Protoss army. I'm gonna sit back. I feel like Astrea is attacking me. Of course, Astrea is not attacking him. Astrea is macroing hard. +1 weapons hitting for the Protoss. Sure, +2 will be on the way shortly. Astrea's posturing. But does he actually commit? Well, got stuff going on to the left of the map. Byun has a nice spread on his units. Prism moving into the main, and it looks like this is going to be a triple prong from Astrea. So those Zealots probably going to run into the natural. The Warp Prism is actually just going to die. It's going to straight up die if it stays there, okay. It will drop off its cargo, and Byun doesn't want to pursue. But the idea is there, right? The idea for a triple prong was there from Astrea. Ghost Academy finishing for Byun. EMP radius on the way. A lot of posturing from these two. A lot of words. They're just like hurling your mom jokes at each other, right? Like they're not actually gonna fight until they meet each other in a supermarket like 30 years later, and it's just been simmering with one of them, and they're like, bop, break the other guy's nose, which should be happening sometime in the next 3 minutes or so, but Astrea really wants to achieve max out before meeting Byun in that supermarket and starting a brawl. The Dorito cannon goes off. Byun has armor shredded Astrea, and that's going to scare Astrea for a bit. Astrea probably not going to even think about engaging until it wears off. It's like a Cold War scenario. Both the US and the USSR are just like positioning their armies. They're launching asymmetrical warfare against one another. They don't want to actually fight. They don't want mutually assured destruction. They don't want to end up in a base race. So they're just testing each other out. Byun is looking to secure a third game. And to really hurt Astrea psychologically. Astrea is looking to regain his momentum. Even things up. And hopefully leapfrog Byun on the scoreboard in the next game. $150 prize pool tonight. The Dark Shrine is on the way. Will we see Astrea DTs? Astrea gets the prism behind the main mineral line of Byun. The triple prong is real. A massive wave of charge lots to the right. Byun pulls his army to intercept. Astrea tries to move the rest of his forces in at the left, and the Prism striking in the natural. Are any of these feints going to do damage, though? The answer is yes. 10, 12 SCVs picked off. Prism goes in again. This time there's no troops of Byun left to intercept. Big Zealot play to the right is getting perilously close to the tank line. Only one siege tank is going to fall in the end. Finally, some Astrea DTs. They're like regular DTs, but they get a buff because they're being controlled by Astrea. How much mayhem are they going to be able to cause? Well, we're about to find out. A half dozen more finish up Shadow Stride. It's about 25 seconds out. Astrea connects a couple disruptor shots. Extended Thermal Lance does a decent job of cleaning up Byun's bio. But still, neither player wants to commit to crushing the other. I'm sure in the back of his mind, Astrea's like, I'm gonna go air toss. Let's get up those triple Stargates. And Byun's like, man, I just want to max out and start dropping. But this fool's on my front porch. Coming up to my garage, trying to steal my leaf blower. To keep grabbing my shotgun and pushing him away. Here he comes again, Astrea trying to take Byun's leaf blower. That was a massive disruptor connection. Byun coming in from behind could catch out a lot of DTs with EMP. No, they do thread the needle and escape. Charge lot run by, left isolated and picked off by Byun. Is this the end of the pressure from Astrea? Shields and armor completing for our Protoss. +3, still quite a ways away for Byun. Two DTs dead. 3. No, third DT is a lucky DT. It escapes with its life. Oh man, Byun going for the surround on Astrea's army. Is he going to get it? The answer is kinda. Just as he's about to. The left flank is blown to smithereens by Astrea. Another expansion beginning for our blue Protoss. And I gotta hand it to Astrea. He's looking like a different Astrea. This is very slow-paced, methodical macro play from our blue Protoss. I like this style from Astrea way more than the triple Stargate. I think this is a lot more substantial. Win or lose this game, this just seems like a very, very solid style to play against Byun. These guys can't seem to decide what they want to fight. They pick off a ghost. They're ultimately going for the reinforcements. Byun drops a scan. Those DTs are cleaned up. It's the two clash in the center map. Astrea split up everywhere, but does that mean that he's going to have enough to defend against the army? Byun's moving in toward his fresh nexus. The answer is no, unequivocally no. Like, he loses this nexus. And maybe his third. He's not moving on an intercept course. He's trying to come in from behind. Astrea with a big blink DT play against Byun's third. Byun cleans house. But, I mean, while the two did trade bases, it hurts a lot more for Byun. He was only on 4 command center, and essentially 2 of those command centers are bone dry. Astrea in the far dominant economic position. Astrea with a small edge in army supply. Astrea with the giant bank. Astrea once again shredding the workers of Byun. This is all pointing to an Astrea victory. I can't see Byun winning this one, guys. He has a lot. He can still make something happen. But not even... I forget the numbers for a second. It's just the way Astrea has been playing on this map. It's been Astrea's game. From start, maybe to finish. Most likely, it'll be Astrea's game from start to finish. GG is called. Yeah, there it is. Astrea taking the score 2-2. Astrea flipping the script is going to be proxying Byun. How's this going to pan out for Blue Protoss? The Max Packs is finished. And the Zealot is in production. We've had a very weighty series between these two so far. I don't know who wins. I don't have a call here. Astrea's looking so good. But Byun is favored on paper. He's favored... I think it's 70-30, and did win 4-0 the last time these two met. Can't stress that enough, how much better Astrea is playing in this series. The Zealots have arrived. Delay on Byun's Nat, and he's just going to cancel, probably. Build it safely in the main. That's exactly what he's going to do. Astrea pressuring the front. But with the completion of the bunker, there shouldn't be too much more done from this initial attack. Twilight Council down for Protoss. Second Nexus already finished. More probes on the way. And the next stage is just hold out at the natural. If you're a Zerg player, you know this feeling. You've just attacked with your hit squad of 5 roaches, and now you try to delay the CC as much as possible. Pick off Marines if you can. Make sure, you know, the Terran's not going to get a harass on you. Byun is forgoing that harass, as a matter of fact. He's not going for a Widowmine drop. He's not going for a Hellion play. He's going for a robust Marauder slow. He wants these dang kids off his front lawn. The Robo on the way. Blink whirring into action. Astrea with the Blink play 4 games in a row. Astrea. Finally off of Byun's front porch. Byun. Ready to take the fight to our blue Protoss. Down drops the third. Oh man, Byun is... I keep adding pauses because I think Byun's going to attack, but he doesn't. Astrea has Blink. Astrea, for all sakes and purposes, has Blink. Yep. 4, 3, 2, 1. And now Astrea can put the pressure on Byun again. The proxy will drop, but Astrea might be able to kill off a Marauder too as this happens. Byun is right-clicked. That seemed very intentional, the timing from Astrea. So the Marauders had just fired their shells and were on cooldown for their next attack. So Astrea tried to take advantage of that to kill a Marauder without taking damage. Very, very, very cool from our blue Protoss. Forge on the way. Robo Bay finishing up. I think Astrea's got this one. I feel confident. You know, I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think Astrea wins this map. Byun's doing okay on paper. Okay, Byun's doing okay. If you look at the numbers, he's doing fine. But you look at how boldly Astrea's been playing these last 2 maps. I don't know. There's something in the air. There's like this electric charge. You're like, Astrea, I believe it can happen. He seems so solid in his play. He seems like you're not seeing any major mistakes from Astrea right now. You're not seeing minor slip-ups from Astrea. Everything he does is like very cool and very calculated. Recall from our blue Protoss. He does not want to be caught out by Byun. He doesn't want to lose any of these very expensive robo units out on the field. Couple of units of Astrea are running into Byun's mineral line right now. Byun gets off the defense. His medevacs are very taxed right now. Astrea is thinking about whether or not he wants to go in. Okay, he's going to bait the tank shots with some Zealots, it looks like, as he attacks to the left. SCV after SCV is falling. Well, Astrea's attack started off good enough, but Byun stabilized. He's got quite the bio ball, and I think Astrea can't take the fight without risk of all his Colossi being sniped very early on. And I think that's why we're seeing him slowly back away. He's like made eye contact with Byun, and he's just, you know, one step back, one step back. He doesn't want to beat a full retreat because he doesn't want to give Byun map control, but he doesn't actually want to take this fight either. There's no way he knocks down the third right now. Astrea is maxed, going into greater tech, dropping down more tech buildings, +2 weapons hitting for a Protoss, making him very powerful for quite some time against Byun. Another expansion going down. A 5-base Protoss against a 3-base Terran is nothing to sneer at. Both players are maxed now. And it looks like we're going to have a small amount of downtime as our players jockey. Are we though? No, Byun decides to make his move. 3 different armies out on the map. First one clashes with Astrea's main force. Armies 2 and 3 meet up on the right side of the map. Try and knock down Astrea's 5th Nexus, but they turn tail. Byun F2ing his whole army home to deal with this charge lot or bin. Down goes the Prism, and the Zealots are cleaned up. Arguably, despite killing 5 workers and a couple of supply depots, Astrea dealt greater damage to Byun by making him pull his army home. Byun would have been able to snipe the 5th Nexus. Easy, hands down, had that Prism not warped in some Zealots. Astrea split up all over Berlingrad. This could allow Byun to catch a portion of Astrea's army and kill it off. No. Astrea unites the tribes. Blinks into the planetary. Will he be able to kill it off before it finishes morphing in? No. Byun moves his infantry forward, sacrificing some of them to a disruptor shot in order to buy time for the planetary to finish. Astrea is at +3 weapons against the +1 of Byun. His army is very strong right now. Very, very, very strong. These medevacs are very, very out of energy. Which means this army of Byun has more bark than bite. Every stem is essentially permanent damage to our red Terran. I feel like Astrea is playing a bit too passively. Dark Shrine and Astrea. Dark Shrine going down. It wasn't as hype as you would have hoped last game. Maybe this time we'll see some hype Astrea DTs. $14 SCVs go down trying to hold the planetary. Recall on part of Astrea's army. Is it going to be enough to hold? It looks like that's a yes for now. Byun loads up the medevacs. Drops into full retreat. Astrea calmly takes another expansion, and Byun's just like, he's running out of steam. He's running out of steam. 3 base Terran at 15 minutes against a 6 base Protoss. 6! He has to take a 4th. He's got to do it now. That red block is moving. Byun, he is trying to secure his 4th base. Astrea knows exactly what he's up to. Oh my god, 2 Ghosts and a Marauder died to that Purification Nova. Blinkstalker's picking off some of these already low energy, heavily taxed medevacs. The Colossi will hold forever at that base location, so Byun's trying to find a softer target somewhere, anywhere. Astrea forcing a lift on the 4th CC. Whoa! That could have been a game-ending Disruptor connection, but Byun is able to take down the Disruptor instead. Astrea is ahead in army supply. Or, excuse me, Astrea is heavily ahead in workers. Byun is ahead in army supply. He needs to translate that into economic damage, and he's got to do it fast. Astrea has so many mineable bases. Byun's making a big risk with this attack. He's not going to have enough to defend if he loses these medevacs, if he loses this bio up here in the top left. +3 weapons finishing soon for Byun, but +3 armor feels so far away. Astrea has a large chunk of his army surrounded. This is the kind of play Byun needs, but he's got to do that a couple more times. There's 6,000 minerals in the bank for Astrea. 3k gas. Astrea's pumping out probes 6 at a time. Byun has a 5th CC down. There's no workers at that 5th CC location. Byun starts to mule the 5th. Is Astrea gonna let Byun back into this game? Oh no, Byun's about to lose the 4th. He's gonna lose the 4th and the 5th. He's trying to base race Astrea. This isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work for Terran. Oh my god. 21 SCVs lost. Both mining bases of Byun forced to lift. Little bit of production going down as well. Byun is trying to make it as worth as possible on the north side of Berlingrad, but Astrea is holding on quite well. Ooh! Major disruptor connection for Astrea. Weakens Byun's already Diminished army. Yeah, Byun cannot go through the choke. There's no way. I think maybe the best move from Byun is to go for a Doom Drop, kill off all of Astrea's production, and then zip back home before Astrea can cause damage. Ah! 2 perfect connections from Astrea are going to end this map against Byun. Astrea in the lead once again. 3-2 over Byun. Astrea. Max Angel. Taking Byun to task this evening. Max Angel is just such a cool name. It's so good. Like, Astrea's parents deserve a word for that one. Like, it's so good. It just Max Angel, man. That's a main character name. You know what I'm saying? That's like a protagonist name if I've ever heard one. If you don't know, Astrea had a Shopify signature series video come out today. And if you want to learn more about this player, I highly recommend you go check it out. The signature series essentially runs over the main characters that are going to IEM Katowice and introduces you to who they are, what they're about, what their journey in StarCraft has been like in a small documentary film format. Really, really, really cool production. And a treat that we're still getting those here in 2022. Got the carrier under the map. Where it belongs. This is where carriers belong. In their tomb world, underneath the map. Not out there killing Zergs. Hashtag save Zerg. It will be an Oracle opener from Astrea. Astrea totally mixing things up. I want to say this is the first Oracle we've seen all series. No, this is the first Oracle we've seen all series. I'm 80% confident. Byun is going for a Widowmine drop. Astrea, for the first time, not opening Blink Stalkers. It's Oracle into Phoenix. This is going to be a very strong style from Astrea. Byun seems to be playing very standard right now. But we have seen Byun's Widowmines tear Astrea apart earlier in this series. Oracle being stutter-stepped. Does live. That's all it can hope for. Why is it going back in? It doesn't have any energy. It can't actually help in this scenario. Astrea's third is down. Byun building up a Cyclone. Almost certainly going to launch an assault off of 2 bases. Astrea is looking for soft targets to pick. He wants to whittle down this attack before it can really get going. Hellion run by. Doesn't go so well for Byun. Astrea taps the Xel'Naga. Astrea moves in the fleet. You know, I'm a Zerg player, and one of my favorite units in the game of StarCraft is the Phoenix. It's so elegant to watch. It's so fun to use. It's elegant in its movement. It's elegant. Elegant's the word for the Phoenix. It feels so empowering to just pick your opponent's unit up and it's just gone. It's just not fighting anymore. You're just shooting at it. You're just pew pew, pew pew. The gold base play from Astrea is a bold one. He's really counting on Byun not to find out it's there. So I think what might happen is Byun is going to push. He will be pushing. Astrea might concede the third base. Just let Byun kill the third and then transfer all the workers to the gold. I think that's a very viable possibility. Combat shield's about to finish for Byun, and that means he will be able to launch this attack in earnest. Third command center started behind the push. The Phoenix go after the reinforcements. One Phoenix picked off, but perhaps even more important than the actual kills on the reinforcements of Byun, he pulled Byun back. Byun is not attacking him right now. Byun took an economic hit to get this attack off the ground, and now he's not dealing any damage. There's an insane amount of zealots. How many zealots is that? That's 30 zealots ready to meet Byun's army. Charge finished up quite a while ago. Byun may have waited too long. Byun is down to match point. Byun cannot afford for this to fail. Even more zealots warping in for Astrea. These need to be god-tier Widowmine shots for Byun to be able to secure victory. .40 zealots move in. The anti-armor missile goes off. The Widowmine shots are okay. They're enough to soften the zealots up for the bio to take care of. All of a sudden, Astrea is about to lose his army. Oh no! These Phoenix cannot fight what's on the ground for Byun. And Astrea is going to have to concede the third. Gold base has been mining for a while, though, and that scenario I talked about earlier is going to play out. The forge is gone, the third is gone. Astrea has to hope Byun doesn't know about this gold base and doesn't kill it off. Oh no, look where Byun's sending his army. The Phoenix move in to distract. Here come even more zealots. Phoenix are going to be able to kill off a medevac? Potentially no. No medevacs were harmed in the making of this engagement. Byun finds the gold. Astrea can't afford to lose it. The zealots swarm in, but there's so much here for Byun. Are they going to be able to deal enough damage? They force out another stem. These guys are awfully red, awfully orange. Astrea's doing it. He's cutting through the remaining forces. There's not enough Marines on the ground to fire up, and that means the medevac cloud is gone. Only a lone Marauder reaches home, or does it? No! Every unit that went out for Byun died. The third is overrun. The SCVs are falling. Astrea's big gamble on the gold has paid off in spades. The Liberators are being cleaned up, and that means Astrea can resume mining. GG! Astrea takes the win 4-2 in this $150 show match.